Welcome everybody back to Wright Ace Attoeney. Last time we played, we had a huge discovery. Please go check it out, so you're not spoiled this time. And now, sorry Edgeworth, I didn't mean to get you in trouble. Don't worry about it. This is my problem, not yours. Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? Got a lot of nerve, pal. Making a detective run away. Run on duty. And to top it all off, you call me here. I've never seen happier. I take it Lana's have you run errands? Let me tell you, pal. This is the last time, pal. Here, she asked me to give you this if there was a break during trial. Evidence law. You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Number 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Is that right, Mr. Wright? It seems so. You could at least study some evidence law, really? The prosecutor also wanted me to give you a message. Message? He said, if you're planning to take him on, you're going to need this book. No. Guess I'll need to give this book a read through. Doesn't look like that book will do you any good now, though. All that's left is the chief prosecutor's sentence. That's where you're wrong, detective. Huh? Haven't you figured it out yet? Why I'm still sitting in the prosecution seat? Despite all the allegations being thrown at me, Mr. Edgeworth, the real trial today hasn't begun yet. What? What else is there left? Your credibility's been all but ruined with this forged evidence you were unaware of. Unless Guy found out she's unwittingly caused the man's death. And now you're telling me you want to do more? You gotta be kidding me, pal. You're missing the point, detective. Lana didn't murder Detective Goodman. She merely struck a knife into a dead body. That means the real killer is still out there. What? We're going to expose him, no matter what it takes. This case has been hurting too many people. It's time to bring it to an end. Oh, yeah. This series has been going on for a long time. Court will now reconvene for the trial of miscellaneous guy, Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor. The inquiry committee is planning to impose harsh penalties for your action. Thank you for the news, Your Honor. Your Honor. Well, ahem. Normally this is where the prosecution calls forth a witness, but, cough, cough, cough. This isn't easy to say. You see, there is some concern that you, Mr. Edwards, have struck a bargain. You think I've manipulated the witness? I didn't say that. Just, you see, everyone's been talking and... Very well, Your Honor. I have a solution. Solution? That being the case, the prosecution will allow the defense to call forth a further witness. What? But there's no precedent for what you're proposing. Undeniably, there's a defective one. It would prove I have struck any detail with the witness. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you say? Unbelievable. Didn't hear that. Edgeworth said, what a way to continue the trial. Very well. The defendants accept the prosecution proposal. Well, then it's settled. The defense may now call forth the next witness, Mr. Wright. Do you realize this is your last chance? You called the wrong witness. Trial's good and over. No! I gotta make sure I call the right person. Defense calls. Appears I've overestimated. I want Meekins! Damon Gant. The defense calls Damon Gant to the stand. Gant? What does he have to do with anything? and his partners 2 years ago. Scan was first-hand acknowledged to the crime. I feel we should hear what he has to say about it. As long as luck have it, he should still be in the courthouse. He would be the least likely to have been manipulated by me in any way. When you agree, Your Honor. True. Alright, bailiff. Please escort Mr. Gant to the stand. We never see the bailiff. And let's please state your name and occupation. Is that some kind of practical joke? I was just on my way to lunch. Name and occupation. Worthy, are you sure you want to do this? Your name and occupation. So, you want to play hardball, huh? Please, Mr. Gant. Hi, my name is Jamie Gant. I'm the acting chief of police. News. Now then, Gant. The court requests to hear your testimony. Oh, righto. What's with the grim face? First, let's clear up this SL9 incident. I mean the time that when Lena's sister murdered the prosecutor. Personally, I think I made it pretty clear myself. There are still some things unaccounted for. Oh, like what? Like the role you played in all this. Son, either you're very brave or very foolish. Or of course, that police chief has all kinds of weapons and disposal. Weapons? Sure, take my testimony for example. I don't have to give you it if I don't want to. Why is that true? I'm afraid so. The chief of police has the right to refuse to testify. Of course, such an action carries with it certain risks. Don't worry, I'm not here to hinder your trial. Just remember, if this turns out to be a big waste of my time, don't say I didn't warn you. Very well, the witness now began his testimony. As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day. To make a long story short, we slipped up. That power outage didn't help either. When I went to my office, I found Lena there. Apparently, she had already arranged the crime scene. As you see, I had nothing to do with this forgery. Is that when Dark was arrested? No, Mia was lying on the floor unconscious. Nemesis sent Neil flying, and it seemed Dark bumped his head. See, everything seems pretty clear-cut. If the police chief has the right to refuse to fight, then I better hit him hard and fast. Make a long story short, we slipped up. That power outage didn't help either. As I recall, the ceremony was held at the police department that day? Yeah, that's right. I guess you could say I'm a workaholic. Neil was all fired up too. Oh, what spook Dark for me to run away like that. The nice guy, brother. I know, sorry, we were at the least. I mean, at the very least, she wasn't when Dark ran for it. The two of you ran immediately after him? That's right, but Dark made the elevator first, so Neil and I split up. Went upstairs and I went downstairs, I guess you could say. We got lucky. Was this about a power outage? Oh yeah, that. The elevator stopped all of a sudden and I got the shock of my life. Well, probably not as shocked as Neil when that... That's not funny. Can you tell us what you saw? Shocking at first sight. Neil and a serial killer was lying in the heap of the floor, all tangled together. Rick was also lying collapsed on the floor. Apparently, he had his head knocked out. Next to them were those two poor girls, Lena and Emma. Lena was cradling Emma in her arms. Looking back at it now, she must have already known her sister had died. How do you know that? Because of the victim's body, it's already been moved. So that means found the body near Lena's desk. It's right. Like you said earlier, it was my suit of armor that stabbed the prosecutor. Anywho, nothing to do with this forgery. So you're saying that the forgery had already taken place by the time you arrived at your office. That's exactly what I'm saying. I can understand how Lena must have felt. But moving a body and hiding evidence are inexcusable no matter what the circumstances. This is really how it went down? Running at the witness won't do you good, Mr. Wright. If you're going to stare at anything, you better be staring off at the court record. Whether were they? Already the smooth talker. Which piece of evidence has been granted for? And I didn't admit to forging evidence. That true gave me the whole. Somehow I got a link grant to the incident. Something right here about looking at court records. Hey, it's your daily dose of internet here. Today we're about to see me freak out. You claim you had nothing to do with the forgery. I'm afraid that is a claim you cannot back up. Explain yourself. Several pieces of evidence was found in your office. Take this list, for example. That's a list of that imagery the picture on. This was discovered in your desk. Not only that, but a piece of this jar that was sitting in your office was found inside your safe. It was found where you see these articles of evidence uncovered in your office are proof that you also played a part in the illegal investigation. Damn, what's the meaning of this? Oh, there's a defense attorney who may even rival Worthy. So you admit to that you were involved in the forgery? Oh, me? Or do you mean you? Me? What would I have anything to do with that? Well, you were the one who snuck into my office when you found this evidence. Prosecutors aren't the only ones capable of forging evidence, you know? Defense attorneys can do so too. Isn't that right, Righto? Our detective was present during the investigation, brother, my boy. Not even detectives are exempt from the law, so rest assured Dick will receive his due punishment. What? His salary drops any further, he'll end up paying to work. Yes, in light of the detective presents, please give us your testimony regarding these pieces of evidence you found in the relation to the forgery that took place at the scene of the crime. My. Kids these days no longer know how to put two and two together. We know how, but you're lying! You're lying! Let's see, what is it now? A jar fragment and a list. All I know, you could plan them in my office. Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. If they were found after Dark was convinced, then they're worthless. And convicted, then they're worthless. There's no particular reason I participated further in rearranging the crime scene. It wouldn't help me out in any way. Yes, Your Honor? When investigating the scene of the crime, should have been more careful to observe protocol. Yeah. I know, the place right. Your Honor, the Batman. Batman. Back in the day, I was broke into a cattle ranch and tipped. Mr. Wright, what are you saying? Broke into a ranch. That's funny. I'll have you know, back in my day, I did crimes. Really cheap game. At the very least, there is one very large benefit you reap from all this. I wasn't aware. What is this benefit? Could of course be the position you have, chief police. The reason of the SL9 incident secured your promotion to chief. That is in itself a significant motive. Oh, that's a good one. Huh? Do you really think I'm that incompetent? What do you mean? Even without the case, I was already in the line to become the next chief prosecutor. I mean, the next chief. The resolution of SL9 was nearly sped. Not the inedible a little. That's your choice. Yeah, you're going to be my chief anyway. God, I can't one party that. Anyway, there's only one possible motive for you to commit perjury. You didn't do it for yourself, then you did it for someone else. Don't be silly, Worthy. You know me better than that. There are only 3 people I look out for. Me, myself, and I. There, it's out in the open now. Urgent, would you mind if I change my testimony a little? By all means, please do. Nothing in it for you. Sorry, brother. Huh. Nothing in it for you. Okay. Mr. Wright, it appears you're positively determined to portray the chief as a nice man who likes to lend people a hand. Not what I meant. Oh, well then. Chief Prosecutor Atlanta Scott, defendant? I believe it's quite obvious in light of the circumstances. This guy fell to an unfortunate series of events. Who would want to help her more than her own sister, Lana. And as for Chief, he would also have a reason to help Lana if she asked him to. Of course, is self-profit. Self-profit? What do you mean? After the SL9 incident was resolved, this guy was appointed chief prosecutor at the police office. The person who arranged this job was you, Chief Gant. But how would he profit from all this? He would be able to use the chief prosecutor as his puppet. Potentially, he would acquire unchecked authority over all investigations. Do you mean to tell me that despite the chief's formidable appearance, he plays with puppets? Oh wait! You must mean puppet as in for him, never mind. Yeah, Chief, you assisted Lana Sky in forging your motive to her as chief prosecutor so you can control her. Right on, my boy. You have quite an imagination. Let me ask you something. What? Do you have any proof of this that I control Lana? I do! I do, Your Honor. I do bleed. Sorry. Oh. Oh, yes. There we go. Better watch your tongue. I wouldn't want you to get hurt. It's what do you mean? What he means, Your Honor, is that Chief Grant is involved in the murder of Detective Goodman. Not only that, but the Chief is now making Lena take the rap to cover up his involvement. What? Order, order, order. I said order, Mr. Wright. You can't be serious, huh? This is an affront to the highest ranking officer in the entire law enforcement to accuse the chief of police of blackmail and murder. It's impossible! That's impossible! Honor, I was merely hearing what Mr. Edwards said and easier to understand. Too late, Mr. Wright. No turning back for us now. Looks like he's the one who decided to go through with this. You prove this, Mr. Wright? The chief. Question. Regardless of his rank and title, is just a man. The question is he a criminal? I believe the evidence will tell. See, alright then. I won't mind if I toss something to you, Reggie. The shoe might do nicely if I chuck it at you. You always were quite the joker, weren't you? Don't oops me. Maybe this boot will not. Well, this boot to the head will knock some sense into you. I know it's hard with all this going on during the trial. Try to think back to what happened in the evidence room 4 days ago. This is the ID card list. The other one that shows who entered the room that day of the crime. There was one ID on the list. We can determine the owner of yesterday. 7 to the 7th. Sure, but there's no way you can prove this. That's the number on the card. It's your number. What? How do you know that? The safe in Chief Grant office requires a code to open. A 7-digit code. 7 digits? You don't mean. Oh, I mean. Afraid so, Your Honor. The code was 7 to the 7th. The card as the same remaining ID card on the list. Grant, you entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. Order, order. Chief, damn. What do you have to say? Nothing. Defendant searching on my office was in violation of regulations. No, demand Mr. Wright be punished to the maximum extent to the law. But right now, this court determines an explanation from you. What about the use of this ID card? Chief Gant, so you admit it. You entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. What about it? I'm the chief of police. Whether it's the evidence room or the bathroom, what's the difference? I can go anywhere I want. Tell me. When you entered the room, were you alone? I always go to the bathroom alone, as I do with the evidence room. Detective Goodman wouldn't have happened to be in there with you that day. Of course not. Why would he be? I hadn't seen him in days. I hadn't seen him in days, Chief Gant? I'm afraid you just undone yourself. The day you had to have met with Detective Goodman. What do you mean? The trial purpose is to determine this guy's guilt. No, it isn't, Your Honor. The trial's purpose is to determine the truth. As Chief Gant met the victim on the day of the crime, then we need to determine one thing. What transpired during that meeting? In that case, Mr. Wright, I'm going to have to ask you for evidence. am bleeding. Huh. I was gonna say, the reason why I said there's that award ceremony. Oh no! I want to save right here so I can. Oh, Detective Goodman lost his ID card on the day of the crime. Or be more accurate, Jake Marshall stole it. So Detective Goodman filed a lost item report. He would have to give that report to the chief of police. Which means you can't be sure if he filled it. He filed it. How do I know, you ask? Because he needed to enter the evidence room that day. He needed to, yes, to transfer the evidence out. Oh, Detective Goodman took the form to you, GK. Then you accompanied the detective to the room. I accompanied him. On the way to the murderer and Detective Goodman. Hold on. Let me guess what you're going to say next. I, the chief police, murdered poor Goodman. Exactly. But wait. The chief didn't necessarily need to accompany him to the evidence room. He could have just left him the ID card. Yes. Sorry, but that's not possible. According to the record, the card was only used once. Yet you showed us your ID card earlier. You really went to Goodman. Would have been found on his body. No! Oh, I hope I got that screenshot. Grant, you didn't. The murder was most likely a spur-of-the-moment crime for no one in the right mind. You choose the police department as a place to commit the murder. You contacted Lana at the prosecution office. Why? To depose the bodies? To depose the body. You're forgetting Mr. Wright. The victim's body was discovered in the prosecution's parking lot. You didn't manage to move it there. I was at the police department the entire time, you know? It was weird that Lana stayed at the prosecution. Still, you're the chief of police. You have an entire police force at your disposal. So you think I just ordered an officer to do it? Hey you, take this here dead body over to the prosecuting office. I don't think so. You left all the evidence. Here's how you moved the body to the prosecution. I thought that was... How could he have moved it? He put it in Edgeworth's car. This is how you moved it. A parking stop, Miles Edgeworth. You mean the body was found in the trunk of Miss Edgeworth's car? Happens, and it happens. The body was by car. You mean I carried the victim's body? Precisely so. But wait, you don't even know. I didn't plan on returning to my office. The ceremony finished that day. Did return. Tell me why. Ugh. I was asked to go by Chief Gant, no less. He told me he wanted to keep it here in the prosecution office. In any case, on the day of the stabbing, I brought this back here. So you see? What you were really taking to the prosecution office wasn't a screwdriver. You were being screwed the entire time. That a good man's body was carried by in the trunk of Edward's car. Yes, unless, of course, you have another explanation. Why else would you have asked Edward to transfer evidence from a closed case? But there's only one plausible explanation: to transfer the body to your this Lena Sky. Order, order, order. What's going on here? Is there no room for rebuttal to the defense's outrageous accusation?
They back to the photograph and took up the police office. There was no photo of the body being stuffed in the... Yeah, no photo. It was being stuffed in. This is the exact opposite. It's a video of the body being taken out. Okay, someone says something, I believe that. Your time's up. My time's sorry, right up, but I'm having lunch with the district attorney after this. We have to get going if we're gonna make the special. But the cross-examination is very... Remember what I told you earlier. Wait, Chief. That's all of the weapons at their disposal. Weapons? Like the right to refuse to testify. I'm revoking that right now. What? This is not right to be casually revoked. There are other certain risks to be considered. So you're going to just run away after all this? Run away? Don't make me laugh, Worthy. I stabbed good old... That old Goodman. That's what you're saying, right? But if there's any conclusive evidence, you would have presented it by now. Well, you think I had Lena dispose of the body? Instead, then show your proof and get it over with.
Say it again. To the police. That's not gonna work, probably. My attorney badge, would I be lying about this? I don't think it's any... Bro. I was gonna say, like, that probably wouldn't work. Hold on 1 second. I wanna make sure I'm doing this right. Did I have to say that? Oh, I was supposed to say I have no proof yet. No, Your Honor, I have no proof yet. COG. In that case, this court is forced to penalize you. Allegation. Here's a tip. Never gamble. If you. It seems that Lady Luck was on my side again today. Okay, RG, I'll leave the rest of you. Warned you earlier, Mr. Wright. This is an effort to a senior officer in our nation's law enforcement. What? Lady Luck. Maybe we should have a word with her. Huh, Mr. Edgy? I mean, Mr. Edgy. Mr. Edgeworth, what do you mean? There's one lady who knows the truth behind the trial. We haven't yet had the honor of hearing her testimony. The absence of conclusive evidence, the only other method of testimony, but Chief Gann has invoked his right to refuse to testify. There's still someone else. One more witness who can answer all the questions. Raised in this trial, someone right in this very room. Mr. Edgeworth is this person. Why are you asking me, Your Honor? Have you forgotten? The defense is the one calling witness today. Mr. Wright, does such a witness exist? They can't stop now. My guess is Lena? Hey, look. This guy, she was in the underground apartment lot at 5:15 p.m. on February 12th, yeah. Her task to dispose of the victim's body. Warring with a someone certain, Mr. Edgeworth, the prosecution has no objections, Your Honor. Very well. The court will finally take its final recess for the day. In 15 minutes, we will reconvene to hear the defendant's testimony. This court is now in. Hold on, huh? Chief Gann, I thought you were going. Listen good, Lena. I don't think you need me to tell you this, but if you accept Mr. Wright's claims, there will be terrible consequences. That's right. Your sister will be found guilty for Neil Marshall's murder. Ah! This isn't good. Of course, you'd never support such outrageous claim anyways. Just something to think about. Alright then, I got a lunch date to meet. Bruh. Judge, you had to have heard that. Okay, if there's any further objections, this court is now in recess. Like we managed to stay in game, yeah. Thanks to your help, Edgeworth. That chief, he's something else, then, pal. Gumshoe. Ha ha ha. Not a detective anymore. Oh yeah, sorry about that. Don't worry. I've already decided where to work now. At your office. My office? Sure. I'll take the place of that top-knotted girl he used to work with. Could you mean Maya? Still, looks like we're all out of moves now. Gann's done it again. How is it he always gets the upper hand? Not fair. He has the right to refuse to testify. Settle down, Wright. Remember what the judge said. The chief does not right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered. Risk? What do you mean by that? It's simple. If the chief refuses to testify, the opposite also holds true. You mean he foresights his right to see anything too? Ah! are you okay? Yeah. When I came to, I was in the medical office. I've been listening to the trial from the gallery, so she heard everything going on. But Emma, sorry for what I said before. No, don't be. It was the truth. You know, it's funny. I almost feel somehow relieved. Relieved? Yeah, now I finally know what really happened. To think that all this time my sister was being blackmailed by that terrible man, and she did it all just to protect me. Ever since her appointment as her chief prosecuting office, everyone knew how she changed. Perhaps it was easier that way for her. What do you mean? What do you think I mean? To follow Grant's orders. She have shut herself up deep down inside. Forces herself to do anything and everything she told her to do. And she became cold. It was all my fault. It's because all Mr. Marshall. Hey, don't go blaming yourself now. If you want to blame anyone, blame society, pal. Chief Gant may be able to fool everyone else with his 4G, but he can't fool my memory. I remember now. I knocked Mr. Marshall into that armor. I see. Well, we'd better get back. Time for the final act. The final episode will premiere tomorrow. Well, not premiere, but go up tomorrow. I want to be there when Lana tells the truth. Let's go, right? Time to end this. And that'll be next time on Fink's Wright Ace Attoeney. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. I'm kind of sad. That's the next episode's the final.